Hi, my name is Amy, and today I'm going to be taking you through a 15-minute Pilates class. All you are going to need for this one is your mat, so you can roll it out. This class will focus on your core and your back body. We are going to do a decent amount of weight bearing to get started, so to start, we will warm up our wrists. So you can take whatever is a comfortable seat for you. If you are okay with sitting on your heels, either in toe squat, tucking your toes, or coming onto the tops of the feet and bringing your hips back towards your heels. We're just gonna make fists with our hands here. So curling the forefingers in and the thumbs on top, making these little fists, and just start to roll your wrists around. And switch directions of that circle. And coming back to neutral here. Think about pouring 2 jugs out as you reach your fingers away from you, reaching them towards your wrists, and then lift them back up. We'll do that a couple more times. Pour your water and lift it up. One more. And lift. We're going to spread our fingers nice and wide and then close them and then open them really rapidly as if you're splashing that water now. As if you could splash it right at me at the camera, bringing your hands out in front of you, extending your arms, and then lifting them, reaching them out towards the sides, and then reaching them up overhead. And release the hands down onto your lap. On a big inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and then side out. One more like that. We'll make some little semicircles, tucking the chin towards the chest, rolling ear to shoulder, and the other way. Back and forth. Last one. Coming back to center, you're going to reach your right hand out in front of you, reaching your fingers down towards the ground, and then bring your left hand just onto the back of the hand and gently push it. And then reaching the hand up, opening the palm towards me, curl your fingertips back. And release. We'll switch hands. Left hand, drop the fingers down. Right hand can come onto the back of the hand, giving it a little push. And then reach the fingers up, hand on the palm, pulling the fingers back. And we'll come back into a tabletop position to start. So with the hands underneath the wrist, spreading the fingers wide, take a second to spread your weight through your fingers. So into the fingertips, curling the knuckles up. So you're not dumping all of that weight into your wrists here. And we're just gonna rock forward into a bit of a plank, a kneeling plank, and then round into your spine, bring your hips back towards your heels. Pulling with the ground, coming forward into that kneeling plank. And then ripple it back. So almost like it's a cat-cow as you move through these positions. Last one. And coming back. As you lift up to tabletop here, walk your hands a little bit ahead of your shoulders. And then we're going to come into a kneeling plank here. So the shoulders are right over the wrists from here. You've got one long line from the crown of your head down to the backs of your knees. And we're going to try to think about drawing the belly button towards the spine and pushing into the hands, puffing up that area between the shoulders. A couple more breaths holding in this kneeling plank. Last breath, and then bring your hips back. This time we're going to extend the legs back. You can come onto your forearms here, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, spreading the fingers wide, and then extend both legs back in this forearm plank, and just rock your weight forward and back a little bit. Last one. And then coming back onto the balls of your feet. Push into the forearms and then step your left toes out to the edge of your mat and then bring them in. Right toes out and bring them in. Left, right, left, right. Back and forth. A couple more rounds. Last one. You can drop your knees down and sink your hips back into a little child's pose here. You can bring your hands back if you like towards your side, knees together, toes together, in a little seated child's pose. Rounding a little bit into the spine, melting the forehead to the mat. Slowly start to lift back up. This time we're going to come back into our plank position and move from plank into a downward dog or pike. So spreading the fingertips wide, separate the knees and feet to about hip distance apart. Push into the balls of the feet, lift the hips up and back to find downward dog. Let your head rest between your biceps, bending into one knee as you press the opposite heel down. And switch. Switch and switch. Coming back to a steady downward dog here. We're going to start to ripple forward onto the balls of the feet, coming into a plank. And then exhale, ripple it back to downward dog. Moving with your breath through the transition a few more times. Last one. And back to downward dog. From this downward dog, we're going to kick our right foot up towards the sky, keeping the right hip wrapping down so it's not opening up in this three-legged dog. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to draw that knee towards your nose, coming forward to plank. Exhale back to three-legged dog. Inhale it forward. Exhale, kick it back. Two more like that with your breath. Kick it up. This time you can open that right hip up, bend into your right knee, kick your right foot towards your glute. And then set that right foot down. We'll switch right away to the other side, extending your left leg up. Keep the left hip wrapping down. Take a big breath in and bring your knee towards your nose, coming forward into the plank. Exhale it back. Moving through those positions with your breath. Two more times. Last one, kick it up and back. This time opening the hip, maybe gazing under the armpit. And you can set your foot down, coming back to downward dog. Walk your feet in slightly so you're shortening up your downward dog stance here, and see if you can give your weight into your left hand and tap your right hand back towards your left shin. Bring it back, left hand to right. Set it forward, right hand to left, forward, left hand to right. One more round. Coming back to downward dog. Walking your toes back. Start to ripple forward until you can lower down all the way onto your belly. So you can come onto your forehead here, resting it down to the mat, and you're going to open your arms out into a 180 goalpost here. Fingers are reaching forward. Elbows are about in line with the shoulders. Forehead's gonna stay resting down as I talk you through this. So think about lifting your elbows and squeezing your shoulder blades back and then lower them down. So you're lifting and lowering. I'm gonna gaze at you, but you can keep your forehead down right towards the mat, not craning and lifting your neck. Lift and squeeze them and lower. Think about pressing your pubic bone down into the mat. Last one like this. And then let them hover, elbows just above the ground, and we're gonna reach the hands forward till you can touch fingers and then bend the elbows back. So almost like you're making a triangle, and then bring it back. Keep that neck long, gazing down at the mat. For 3, 2, and 1. You can bring your hands in alongside your ribs here, coming up onto the fingertips. Push into the fingers, lift your heart into a little back bend here. Pushing into the pubic bone and the tops of the feet in a little cobra, and lower. Last one. Lowering it down. We're going to reach the hands out in front of us, turning the palms to face towards one another. You can keep resting your forehead down. I want you to try to lift your right thigh off the ground. So lifting your right toes, keeping that right leg long, as if you could peel that right thigh off the mat. It might only be an inch or two, and then lower it down. Now we're going to do the same on the left, lifting the left toes, trying to get that left thigh just off the mat, lower it down. We're going to lift the left hand, keeping the arm long, so the bicep comes alongside the ear, lower it down, right arm, lower it down. Every time you're doing this, think about length. So we're going to start using alternate opposite sides. So as you lift your right foot, your left arm is going to lift, lower, left foot, right hand. Back and forth. Keep pressing your pubic bone into the ground. Inhale, lift, find that length. Exhale, lower. One more round. Lift it up. We're going to turn the palms to face down, and we're going to do swimming here. So it'll be a little bit more rapid in that alternating back and forth, side to side on a diagonal. So take a big breath in. As you exhale, lift both hands and feet, and then start to paddle. Right hand comes up as the left foot comes up, and switching back and forth. Right foot and left hand are working together. Engaging your core, engaging your back muscles. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, bending into the elbows. Stack your hands one on top of the other, and you can rest your head down onto your hands. You can bend into the right knee, kicking the right heel in towards the glute, reaching back with your right hand. Giving it a pull, you can turn over onto your left cheek. And keep the right knee reaching towards the back of the mat. Release it. Turn onto the other side, bending into your left knee, kicking your left heel up towards the glute, reaching the hand back and pulling it in. And release. You can bring your hands back, interlacing your fingers behind you, right on your sacrum here, so the thumbs are resting. And trying to squeeze the elbows up towards the sky. And then extending the arms out. Try to peel your hands away from your back, reaching them towards the ceiling. Release your hands down. Bring them up towards your chest and then push into the ground to lift on up. Thank you so much for joining me for that quick Pilates class, and I'll see you again soon.